paradise and woes of life. Love and pride, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motions reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, ready from ear to ear. Craving and raining and rain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, in paradise. We know our purpose. In paradise, in paradise. We know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you conceive.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and today it is Tuesday. So, I've got my watermelon sweet tea, and you know what the location is. At least I hope you don't. I hope you do. We're at Georgia's Happy Hog here at 712 Culbertson Drive, just east of Lincoln and north of the OU Medical Center, south of the state capitol, just right across from the Harn Homestead. Just come on up, and we're here every Tuesday pretty much about 2 o'clock doing the show, because you got to get in and get your your burnt ends if that's what you like, or if you like your hot links, if that's what you like, or if you like turkey, that's what you like. If you like ribs, that's what you like. You like brisket, if that's what you like. You like chicken, if that's what you like. They've got all that, plus they've got greens, and then every Tuesday and Friday they have mac and cheese, and then of course those smoked wings are off the chart that Justin does. They are just ridiculously good. So anyway, they have all of that available. They're open Monday through Saturday, from 11 to 7. For catering events, you can contact them at 405-525-8111. And hey, man, it's just one of my favorite places. And everybody who's come here, has just loved it and have come back. And it just depends on what you like and what you want. You can get it. And of course, this is our remote live stream is brought to you by YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. They are our sponsors, of course, for us to go out and do remote live streams at minority, black, and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can pre-qualify online with them at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go in and see the guys. They love to see you over at the main bank. You can go in there and you can see the Horn Man, or you can see Nathan Taylor, or you can see Carson Wright. You can see any of those guys over there, or you can go into that's downtown Yukon, 401 Elm, or you can go to the YNB East, which is off the Parkway in 66, just probably a mile or so east of the main bank. YNB Mustang at 218 Mustang Road there in the city of Mustang. YNB Parkway, which is I-40 and Garth Brooks Boulevard, which you can't miss it. It's just right there south of the highway, south of I-40, right in front of the Integris Hospital. Or you can go to the one that I go to is YNB Peoples, which is over on 23rd between MacArthur and Rockwell. That's the one I go to because it's just closer for me to go there unless I want to come and do our remote live stream there in Yukon, or I want to see my big sister. Well, she's like my big sister, Carolyn Hinthorn, or my bestie, Randy Wright. Whichever one I want to do, I'd go in there and see them. But hey, go in and see the guys and the people over there. They're fantastic. They're great. And if you've been open since 1912, that'll tell you something right there. What is that, 111 years, I guess that's what that is. 111 years they've been open. So clearly they know what they're doing, and they will take care of you. And they are a proud sponsor of, like I said, us going out and do minority businesses. Now, in breaking news, which everybody already knows about, and we'll talk about this more in depth when my guy Ben Dillman comes on here, because he wanted to talk about this. But the breaking news is, speaking of that, breaking news is the PGA Tour is merging with the rival Live Golf. The question is the best move for golf? And my deal with the Live has always been, one, I don't like Greg Norman and I don't like Mickelson. Okay, first of all, both of those, I'm not fans of either one of those gentlemen. Second thing is, I just didn't like the way that they were doing it. And to say that they're improving golf and they're enhancing the way golf is played, no, you're not. No, you're not. You cut it into a scramble. It's three days, not 4. And it just bothered me. And plus, all these guys are coming out saying that, oh, we're trying to do it for the government. No, you did it for the money. That's one thing I love about Pat Perez. He came out and he said, no, we did it for the money, and all those guys are lying. And I respect. Don't say you're growing the game. Don't say you're doing it, because you're not. And Brooks Koepka was talking about, oh, he was giving you that crap. Oh, well, I want to play less golf. No, you played more golf with Lyft than you did when you're on the PGA Tour. So that's not it. Just tell the truth. You went for the money, okay? A, you went for the money. B, you did it because you knew you were not going to win consistently on the PGA Tour. That's why you did it. Now, for me, as somebody who's competitive and who wants to win, I'm going to go as far as I can go. I'm going to compete against the best because the records are all sitting there. When you look at Jack Nicholson, you look at Tiger Woods, you look at Arnold Palmer, you look at, all the greats of the games, they're going after records. That's how you measure yourself, how good you are. If you're in basketball, you measure yourself against the guys who came before you. In football, you measure yourself against the guys who came before you. In baseball, you measure yourself against the guys who come before you. In WNBA, you measure yourself against the women who come before you. That's what you do, okay? If you're competitive, you want to be in the most competitive thing to see where you stand. But these guys, they realized they were not going to win on the PGA Tour anymore. And so what did they do? They went to live because they offered the money. Now, to me, 200 million is a hard number to turn down. 300 million is a hard number to turn down. Now, if you're like Tiger Woods, $1 billion, yeah, why would I? Yes, $1 billion. I've already got $1 billion. I can't spend what I got, another $1 billion to take away from the tour that I helped build and that I helped take to the next level. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in your money. And now, granted, when people went off about the Saudis and all that, and I kind of did too, at first, the more I thought about it, hey, our government is in bed with them. Oil company, granted, did they help sponsor, I believe, did they probably help sponsor something, what happened with 9/11? Deep down in my heart, I would say I'm sure they probably, not the government, some people in there who hate us, I don't doubt that they may have had some hand in it. But on the other side of that, we're so dependent on the Middle East oil, and we're so dependent on that area. You have to have our base. We have to be in partnership with them business-wise and politically, okay? So that being said, my deal with Liv is simple. Don't say you're trying to grow the game. You're not. You did it for the money, and I didn't like Greg Norman. I didn't like the way he did it. I didn't like the way Phil did it. That was my issue with Liv Golf, the whole thing. That's the only problem I had. If you're trying to grow the game, then you make it the same way the NPGA is. You go 4 days, you do the tournaments, you have a cut, you make it work. Because to me, cut matters. If you don't play good, you don't deserve to get paid. In the NBA or whatever professional sports, if you don't play well, you don't get paid. I don't understand how these guys in this generation, they're like everything's easy. No, if you don't earn it, you shouldn't get it. People would ask me all the time, do you have, what about participation T-shirts? I don't do participation in anything. If you want something, you earn it. You go get it. That's what I did. Go get it so you can appreciate it. You're not going to appreciate anything that's given to you. That's the issue I have with the golfers. Now, with Brooks Koepka coming back, he only wants to play the majors and whatever, but he can only play, so many tournaments, and that's it. But now with the merger, I think you have a combination, like with anything else. With the ABA and the NBA, when they merged, what did they do? The NBA took some of their teams, and then after that, what did they do? They ended up applying some of the rules. The three-point rule, didn't do the ball, which I agree with that 100%, that red, white, and blue ball. I'm out on that. But they adapted a lot of the rules that the ABA had. The same thing with the NFL and AFL. When they merged, they didn't take everybody, but they took a lot of teams, and what did they do? They took a lot of the rules, and they took a lot of things. Okay, we like that, we like that, we like this, which is why the USFL is working, what we just left, they just won it. I forgot already what the hell it was called. The Coach Stoops, Bob Stoops, won the title. They're trying out different things, so I agree with that. Why not go in this rival league, or not just this upcoming league, and do stuff? Why not take it? Okay, we don't want to do this in the NFL. Let's try this rule over here. Let's try this rule over here, and let's see how it works. I have no issue with that. So if Liv had said, okay, we're going to basically have the same, but we're going to change up the things, cool. But 3 days, come on, man. 3 days, playing a bunch of music, I don't have a problem with the music. I have zero problem with that. Now, the purists of the game would have a problem with that. I have no problem with them playing music. Who cares? I mean, whatever. If that affects your golf game, I mean, how many of us play with music on our golf cart? Does that affect your golf game at all? No, it doesn't. So if you're locked in, you're locked in. Now, with the team format, I have no issues with that because it's kind of like the Ryder Cup. It's kind of like the President Cup where you have the team format. So I have any problem with that. And remember, Tiger and Rory are doing the virtual golf with team format. I really want to see that because it's just like us. If you use the virtual machine, you hit the shot, but then they have actual greens and they have the sand around it, so you actually have to hit your shots. And now that I like. So to me, if you can do something with the team thing, do some special events here and there with teams, I have no problem with that. I don't want to see it every day or every week. Now, do I want to see 2 or 3 times a year? Yeah, let's do some team things 2 or 3 times a year, whatever. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. But at the other side of that, now, Jay Monahan is still, and when Ben comes on, he's not a fan of Jay Monahan, who is the commissioner of PGA, who is going to run this. Now, remember, when they merge, what this is going to be is a for-profit venture, not a non-profit, but a for-profit venture. So we're going to see how that plays out with the sponsors and things like that. It probably shouldn't change the way everything works. I'm sure it's not going to, because I'm sure that they checked with Nike, they checked with Coca-Cola, they checked with all their major sponsors, Cadillac and whoever their major sponsors are. I'm sure they checked with them and said, hey, this is what we're wanting to do. Are you okay with it? So before all this happened, I'm sure that's what they did. So to me, I don't mind the merger. But to me, I don't care whether Brooke Koepka comes back or not. I don't care if Phil Mickelson comes back or not. I don't care if DeChambeau comes back or not. Now, a lot of people do. I don't. Because to me, Brooks left for the money. Jon Rahm did not leave for the money. Morikawa did not leave for the money. Rory McIlroy did not leave for the money. Why? Because the competitiveness in them and their ability to look in the future and match themselves against the previous guys to see where they truly stand in the history of the game, that's why they stayed. Like Jon Rahm's wife said, they asked him about it. She said, honey, she goes, we can't spend the money we got now. If you want to go get it, great. If you don't want to, okay, we can't spend the money we got now. And at some point, if you're struggling and you need the money, like, I was listening to this guy today. He was talking about how Lev offered him 6 figures to come be the voice. He said, yeah, I'm not interested. Why? Because he knew that was going to take away from his sponsors, from his stuff, what he's doing currently. Number one, which all those guys lost all those things. Number two, what it would have done is it would have branded him differently and would have hurt him in his future endeavors, which is why Tiger didn't do it. That's why Rory didn't do it. Because to me, guys, look, you can make $200 like Phil. You needed the money clearly, but you lost an additional $10, $15, $20 million a year that you're going to make when you're 70 years old and not playing. You're still going to be making that kind of money. You got to live. You better put that $200 million away or whatever they gave you. So basically, what I'm saying about the LIV and the PGA Tour. I'm like that you guys have merged because now the dissension and all the BS is gone. I like some of the things with doing the team format stuff. That's okay with me. I don't have any problem. I don't want to see it all the time, but every now and then, yeah. Do I want to see a 3-day? I don't want to see anything with any kind of where you come out and do the format where you shotguns. I don't want to see that. I'm not interested in that. Okay, I'm just not. If I want to do it, if I want to scramble play, I'll go out and do scramble myself. I'm not really interested in that. I want to see golf the way golf has always been. Give me 4 days. If you want to do some special tournaments and stuff where they do team stuff, I'm okay with that, kind of like the President's Cup and stuff like that. But then again, if you do that, how is that going to affect? Now, it's going to be a little different because it's not USA versus someone else. But, how is that going to affect everybody's overall view? And what Tiger and Rory are doing their thing, but it's 3 guys, and you're going against each other. 6 teams, I believe, is what it is. That's going to be fun because it's something different. But you're talking about playing 3 days. I ain't trying to see 3 days. I want to see 4 days because the guy that usually is up on Thursday in the first day, if he's not gone by Friday, he's definitely gone by Saturday for the most part because it's about playing multiple days in a row to stay mentally locked in with golf. And if you play golf, you know how damn hard it is. It's ridiculously hard. But anyway, that's my rant for the morning, and I'm sure when Ben comes on, we'll talk more about it as the deal comes on. So that being said, and softball, dude, those Sooners, those girls are just, I mean, wow. 51 straight games. Going for their third in a row. And I do believe they play Florida State. You can see what happened yesterday. Florida State spanked Tennessee, and OU beat Stanford. And I want to say the picture of Stanford, that girl, wow, she was mowing the Sooners down. She was giving them everything that they wanted. And the same thing happened the first game. You know, OU has scored, what was it? They've averaged, 2 games? So they've averaged 3 runs. And 11 against everybody else and 3 runs against Stanford. So I will say that my hat goes off to Stanford. What a great game they played against the Sooners, but they made a mistake, and that's what they do. OU waits and waits and waits, and when you make the mistake, they beat you. That's the problem with Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beats themselves. OU doesn't typically do that. They don't usually beat themselves. They don't make the errors to beat themselves. They understand the pinch count. They understand who they're throwing to. They understand the situation because they've been through it many, many times. Florida State, I don't think they're afraid of OU at all, even though they got spanked by OSU earlier in the year. They have come back, and, of course, they beat OSU. So I just don't we'll just see what's going to happen with that. But here is the schedule. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m., I'll be definitely watching that as OU plays against Florida State. 7 p.m. on ESPN. I'm sure I'll be sitting on the patio somewhere. Well, I will be because we're doing the Thunder Show tomorrow night. So I'll be sitting on the patio watching that, and I'll do the show, and then I'll watch that at the same time. Or I'll do the show first and then watch that, or do the show afterwards, whatever. I'll figure it out. But anyway, can't wait to see that game 1 tomorrow. And if necessary, if OU loses, then, of course, they play the elimination, the player winner takes it all game Thursday at 6:30 at ESPN at Hall of Fame Stadium, which, I can't wait to get Ben's opinion on that because, remember, they are taking it away, and I think they're going to switch off and go to Orlando, which, to me, I went off my little rant yesterday about that because, to me, I just don't understand it. If you're trying to grow the game, the Hall of Fame is right there above the stadium. You can walk up. Little girls can see their heroes. Where they go, oh my God, I want to be like her. I want to be like her. I want to be like her. You don't have that now. You go to Orlando. Yeah, now the weather. If that's what you're saying, the weather, I can understand. The weather part of it. I can kind of get that. But if you're trying to grow the game, and women always complain about equality and all that. Look, you have all these little girls who are growing up who can see their future Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame girls and their idols right there. And you're taking that away to go to Florida. I don't understand it. Please, somebody help me understand it because I don't. I don't see the reasoning behind it. I don't understand how they even justify that. I just don't. I'm like, I don't understand it. I just don't. To me, I don't understand how you can have the history of your game right there. Every year you play it, they've redone the stadium. It's beautiful. It's packed. It's amazing. You've got the Hall of Fame right there on the top of the hill. So these little girls can watch and go back and look at the hero, and you walk. I don't understand it. Like we were talking about yesterday about how Big 12 took away Big 12 baseball championship away from Oklahoma City. Why? Now you're in Arlington, this huge stadium, and you're expanding in the outfield. There's nobody in the outfield. Nowhere to be found. Sperry fans and stands here and there. It's just like, dude, now you're in a big, huge, empty. It's almost like a big, huge. It's like playing a junior high football game in a pro stadium. You're gonna have some fans there, but it's not gonna be full. It's like when they play high school games at Jerry's World. Yeah, it holds what? 100,000 people, they might have 50. I mean, you can't, it's just not the same field. It's not the same thing. And I just don't understand what the people have against Oklahoma City. I don't understand it. I wish somebody would help me do that. And of course, by all means, you can Skype me and please help me with it. If you have any suggestions or any ideas, I would appreciate it because I just don't get it. And you can Skype me at 405-551-8300, 405-551-8300, if you can help me understand why. And I'd like some woman, a young lady or whatever, man, if you got opinion, mainly women, to text me or send me a message at 405-551-8300, 405-551-8300, and help me explain because I just, like I said, I don't understand it. I really don't. Now, granted, they say that it's like a home game for OU. I get that. But they go out and they smash you on the road, too. They are a machine. And machines win at home or on the road. When you look at college basketball, when they're dominant, they win on the road. All their games are on the road. If you look at baseball, all the games are back and forth. But football, in the playoff games, they're on the road. The things played in the championships playing on the road. It's not at home. So you move in Orlando, that gives Florida State a home advantage because people in Florida are there. University of Florida gives them a home advantage because they're right there. So what is the difference? What is the difference? Oh, the difference is you don't have the Oklahoma Hall of Fame right there. That would be the difference. I want to take this time to thank my sponsors, Collaborative Logic, for all the things they do to keep me up, running, and doing all the things that we need to do remotely, because every time something goes wrong, they can remote in and help me and fix it. So I love that about them. But if you have any needs for any software written that can make your office run smoother, they are the people for that. Or if you need website designs, they can do that as well. Upgrade your network if you need that, or add computers to your network, or build a network for you. They can do all of those things. They are fantastic. And like I say all the time, the thing I love about them most is they don't have to be in your office. Once they set it up, they can remote in and fix things. That's the thing I love about them most. SRB, if you have any engineering, surveying, and planning, my guy Mark Long is the dude for that. Can't wait. In fact, I got to get to hang out with him and Maya tonight. I think we're going to go have dinner somewhere tonight. So anyway, SRB, if you have an engineering, surveying, or planning, holler at my guy Mark. They'd love to do anything for you if you have anything engineering-wise. My guy Jose Fierro, Oak Grove Trucking. Bro, I need a USA women's jersey. I cannot find one. Double X men. I find T-shirts, but it's weird is that they've got double X women's shirts, but they don't have any jerseys for men. I don't understand that. At least I've been trying to find it. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right place. But Jose, if you can find me one, please let me know. I've got the men's jersey, but if you guys don't know, we'll be talking about this. The Women's World Cup is coming, so I'm excited about that, and the USA going for 3 in a row. So I'm pumped up about them doing what they need to do to get that World Cup. So I'm excited. Greg and Max Nafee over at Nafco supporting me in all the things that I do as always. I appreciate everything that they have always done for me and continue to do. They support. In fact, there's 4 kids that they have gotten scholarships because of them sponsoring them and paying for them to do training and stuff with me. Those kids got afforded an opportunity that they would not have had before. So appreciate those guys. YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go see them. They are personal banks. So go into the main location there at 401 Elm. You can go to the YNB East, which is just east of the main bank downtown Yukon on 66 and the Parkway. YNB in Mustang, which is the 218 North Mustang Road. Cannot miss them right there on Mustang Road. Can't miss them. YNB Parkway, which is on Garth Brooks Boulevard, and I-40 is actually just south of I-40 on Garth Brooks Boulevard, just right there in front of the hospital. And then YNB Peoples, which is the one I always go to right there on 23rd between MacArthur and Rockwell. And you go by and see those guys, and we appreciate them because they're also the reason why we're here at Georgia's Happy Hog. They are a sponsor for us to go out and do remote live streams at Black, minority, and women-owned businesses in the OKC area. And then our newest sponsor, DT Construction and Consulting, 405-209-4051. That's 405-209-4051. DT Construction and Consulting. Man, if you got a problem with your roof, that's where Drew's been. He's been so busy right now being out on these roofs and doing construction at different sites, and he's just been busier. I won't say that. I won't say what I was going to say. But anyway, been very busy. You can also email him at dtconstruction2015@outlook.com. That's dtconstruction2015@outlook. You can contact him there. And you know, the thing I love about them, they're respectful, they're local, and they're loyal, which basically means they're not coming in from out of town because we had a tornado or we had a hailstorm. They come in and do whatever, get your money, and boom, they're gone. So if there is an issue, hey, Drew answers his phone, and you can contact him, and they will make sure that everything gets fixed. So that's DT Construction and Consulting. So by all means, look those guys up and contact them because they are fantastic. And we're missing Drew right now, and we have been this week because he's just been busier than ever getting out and doing business and getting people's roofs done. So congratulations to my guy. Glad your business is flying off and you're doing the things. And then also thank you for sponsoring us. Now, NBA, there's a huge game tomorrow, as we all know. The NBA Finals, the Nuggets against the Heat at 7:30 tomorrow night, which is Wednesday. So we've got baseball softball at 7. We've got NBA at 7:30. Man, I tell you, I'm going to have to be somewhere with 2 TVs. And I think tomorrow is Wednesday night. I think am I at Ned's room? Where am I at? Cat's? Where? I forget where I'm at tomorrow night. Sitting out on the patio doing the After the Storm, which is my OKC Thunder broadcast show. So I'll be doing that, giving a breakdown of what's been happening with the Thunder. But anyway, Nuggets and Heat tomorrow. Game 3. Series is tied 1-1. And, you know, we'll discuss more about that tomorrow, but it's 1-1. It's going to be exciting. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to give my prediction on what I think will happen. The more I think about it, I usually wait because, you know, I waffle back and forth. Like yesterday, you know, I was all about the Heat because of what happened. And then today I'm kind of going, well, you know, they're going to come back. Mike Malone is going to make an adjustment to what the Heat did to them in Game 2. And, you know, that's the thing that I love about Eric Spoelstra and about having a coach. Your coach makes the moves. He can make in-game decisions. He makes in-game moves. It's like everybody talks about what happened at the end of the game, calling timeout, not calling timeout. Why are you going to call timeout? It's 12 seconds, and you've got Jokic and you've got Jamal Murray. Why am I calling timeout? So the Heat can get set up, switch their personnel out? No. I like what I got. I know I'm going to run a 2-man game, and I'm going to get a 3 off for some kind of way. That's what I need, and I figured I'm going to get it done. But let's say that the thing that I love about what Miami did, Miami stuck Jimmy Butler on Jokic coming down the floor. And they had, Vincent on Murray. So what ended up happening, they knew they were going to Heat. This is how smart they are. The Heat knew they were going to run a pick and roll. So when they ran the pick and roll, Jimmy switched off onto Murray instead of him guarding Murray like he had been coming down, and then gave Vincent switches out. So I thought that was a great move by the Heat. Once again, understanding situational basketball, knowing who to do, what to do, and that comes with experience and coaching. So they switched that out, and most people didn't know. Very few people even saw that. I'm like, that's why to me it's the eye test. It's not the numbers. I don't want to care all that crap. Eye test for me. I thought that was great by them. So they knew they were going to run the pick and roll, and when they did, Jimmy Butler was going to switch off and guard Jamal Murray. And that's exactly what happened. But nobody talks about that. And I'm just going, guys, are y'all watching the same guys I'm watching? This is the deal. They're playing chess, not checkers. And that's the difference. They're playing chess, not checkers. So anyway, I was excited about that. And then this is my biggest thing. I'm back to, I think Denver is going to win it now. Yesterday I was with the Heat. Today I'm with Denver. And tomorrow I'm going to make up my mind. And I'm going to have a good feel because I waffle back and forth. And then tonight I'll sit down and really kind of go through it and kind of figure out where I'm at and what I'm really my real true feelings are about that. So, in NBA news, here are the top free agents for the NBA that are coming out. You got James Harden, which is a PO, is player option. Draymond Green, player option. Fred VanVleet, Toronto, player option. Jeremy Grant, no, he's a wide open. Brook Lopez, wide open. Max Strus, wide open. Nas Reed, wide open. And then Austin Reeves are for restricted, which means that somebody can match the Lakers' offer if that's what they do. Kevin Love, and then, of course, Dylan Brooks. And when I look at this, I'm going, James Harden, I mean, why would you leave Embiid? You go back to Houston, they're young. You know, the only reason why you go back to Houston is because it's the strip club capital of the world. They've just got the best strip clubs, they do. Sorry about that, it offends a lot of y'all, but they do. They have the best strip clubs. So we know James liked to have a fun nightlife, and that's why he loved Houston. So that's the reason why, to me, he'd want to go back versus in Philly. But if you're trying to win or get a ring, why the hell would you go back to Philly? And it's not about the money, because you can re-up. If you're a player option, you can stay again for $35 million. And I'm sure you made, $300, $400, $500 million by now, and after taxes, at least a couple, 200 or 300. So you should have enough money by now put away, that it's not about the money. It's about the situational, about the last few years of your career being able to win a ring. Draymond Green, to me, they have to make some huge, huge decisions there. In Golden State, you can see we're going to talk about LeBron to the Warriors here in a minute. But with me, Draymond, I just think, he's got the player option to exercise out to see what the market's like, or he can exercise his option there with the Warriors and make the 30-something million that he's making now. But he wants a big bag from the Warriors. I understand what you did for me before, but I'm not giving you some max deal. That's not happening for what you're an aging player, you're an aging product. And I'm just not going to give you what you want for that. I'm just not doing that. But, of course, the owner's son, Kyle Lacob, is taking over, so he might look at it differently. I don't know, but don't make a mistake right off the bat in your first name as the head of basketball operator or as the GM. Don't make a mistake, young man. Fred VanVleet, love Fred, love what he's doing there at Toronto. He's going to be a nice pickup player option. I'm sure his agent is kind of out there looking around, maybe checking it out. But to me, Fred, go ahead and just do your player option, exit out, go ahead and move on. Jeremy Grant, I love that kid, have loved him. Remember, he was with the Thunder. I like to take him back. Brook Lopez, he's a big body, big guy. He can shoot the three. In fact, I would love the Thunder to have him, because we need a guy who can protect the paint, number one, who can shoot the stretch the floor, which, of course, is what Chet is supposed to be able to do, but we shall see. Max Strus, he's just a great role player, non-drafted, we'll see, but he probably fits more in the Miami culture. He is a shooter, which the Thunder do need a shooter, and he's definitely that. So, if you're going to pick up somebody, and he is young, so that would fit in the Thunder culture, and we do need a shooter. So and we have plenty of draft picks if that's what we need to do. We don't even have to worry about that because he's a free agent. So anyway, that would be a nice pickup for the Thunder. Nas Reed, I like him, but it doesn't really impress us. Austin Reeves, he's done really, really well the last 2 years, especially this year from what he was last year to this year, the improvements that he made. I just hope he doesn't get caught up in the LA lifestyle and forgets to get back into the lab, which is what he did all summer, so that he can make some money. Now, a friend of mine said somebody offered him $100 million. I'm like, who would be that stupid? He's a good $20 million a year player. That's what he is. He's a good player, but he's not worth $30-something million a year. That's not, 4 years, 22 million, something like that, 20-something million. I can see that. 3 years, 25 million a year. I can see something like that. But 150, 175 million, I cannot see that. Good young man, but yeah, I don't see it. Kevin Love is in that journeyman stage right now. I do believe if the Miami Heat wins the championship, that Kevin Love will retire. I don't think that he's going to go past where he's at now. I think if he does, he's going to retire and he's going to be gone. That's kind of the way I look at it and kind of what I think would happen with that. I just don't think he's going to stay if he wins one more chip. And then Dylan Brooks, I don't know who's going to want him. Hopefully he's changed his attitude and his mentality, because I think that because of the Jaws situation. That whole team and whole attitude has to be broken up. And that's why they said with Dylan, I think he was more of the scapegoat for that team and what they wanted to do because he was opening his mouth saying the stupid stuff that he was saying. So I think he was the scapegoat. But that's how their team was really built overall. But they did miss the big fella, and that mattered. Now LeBron to the Warriors. My issue with LeBron to the Warriors is that LeBron would fit well with them, no question. But what do you got to give up? The Lakers are young. So the Lakers could get quite a bit for him. You keep Anthony Davis and you say, okay, we want Jordan Poole, we want Kuminga, and we want Moses Moody and a first-round pick or a second-round pick. Got to give LeBron, he's a first-round pick guy. And so that's what I would say. Or give me Jordan Poole and Kuminga and a first-round pick. I mean, that's what I would do if I was the Lakers if they want to do that. But I don't see them giving up LeBron. I just don't see that happening at all. But, hey, it's a nice little thought, something to talk about out there, nice subject. And then, of course, in Thunder news, the Vice President of Basketball Operations, Will Dawkins, has been hired as the new GM of the Washington Wizards. And now he will be the number 2 executive behind Michael Winger, of course, who is another former alumni for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the Thunder coaches and Thunder people are really doing great out there in the NBA right now. Sam Presti's growing some nice little guys out there, so I like what's happening. I think we're going to miss him because of his the impact that he had on our scouting service, but clearly there's somebody else in line, and he's been there for 15 years, so there's surely somebody up underneath that, because usually you go get good young people and you let them build their time, you learn, you let them intern, you let them work, and you build their way up, and then it's time for them to move on when your older executives get an opportunity such as this. That being said, now what's up, my guy? Joined by High Stick Harry, Ben Dillman. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Man, just enjoying Georgia's. I'm trying to get me some barbecue and some food here in a little bit, but haven't had a chance because I've been doing the show, and I got here and there was a line, and then their internet went down.
Love to hear
so,
that.
yeah, it's kind of one of those things, but I'm going to get some food here in a little bit before I have to go to the gym and put some work in with the kids this afternoon. How about yourself? What's going on with you today? No, you're not out doing taking family photos?
Nah, not doing that. Yeah, I went just been prepping food all day, pretty much. Hanging out with the dogs, doing a couple different things. Went fishing this morning, worked out, did a couple different things. So
yeah,
nothing too much.
Talk about the live deal. We had talked about that. What is your feeling on what's going on with it?
I mean, so for the sport of golf, I think it's fantastic. I think that they're getting back together. I think that's great. I like watching all the guys, at the same time go back, play against, the best talents in the world. I think that's great. But on the other hand, I think that Jay Monahan, that guy is an absolute just scumbag, to be completely honest. Because the way he was talking, I mean, he brought 9/11 into all of it. He personally knew 2 families that lost people in that, and that's why he couldn't do the money and all this stuff. And that, I think that's like, if you're bringing morality into it, then you're doing, making all these people do all this stuff and, turn down tons of money and all, changing life kind of money, changing, generational kind of money. And then, making everybody feel bad about it. I mean, they turned down, hundreds of millions of dollars. And I don't like the way that he went about it. Then now he's, then they clearly offered him a, absurd amount of money, and they're giving it to him again. And like, whenever all this went down originally, the PGA came up, I think it was with like $20 million out of nowhere. Just, they're like, oh, actually, we have this we can pay you guys. It's like, well, where was that money the whole time? And then I just don't like the guy. You know what I mean? And I just don't like the guy for doing that. And I mean, the other guys, and how can you not be mad if you're the live guys? Because I mean, they only play the 3 days, so it's only 70. It's 70 or what 72.
Well, it's a shotgun start. It's a scramble. I'm not interested in that. That's why nobody wanted to watch it.
Yep.
Nobody's interested in that.
No, I mean, I agree with it 100%. But those guys that made all that money, they got to be kind of a little annoyed now. They're, less golf, more money. They had private flying was paid for. They could wear shorts. They only had to play for 3 days. Now, I mean, now those guys have to go back. Now, you have
to
do
the original
pro-ams on Wednesday. Yep, you got to go back to the pro-ams on Wednesday. Some of those guys were spending time with their families, having a good time, so I'm sure they were upset. But I'm really just honestly pissed at Jay Monahan.
Yeah.
I can't understand his thinking behind the whole thing, and why he can now all of a sudden just says, you know what,
And
I'm just
he
gonna
is
we'll
the.
take
By
the
the way,
bag.
he is the head. He is the executive
That's what I'm
director of
saying.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I wouldn't be so bugged about it if he didn't bring in the 9/11 families and stuff. I just
Well,
thought that was
but
because he
Ben,
was trying to stand up
okay,
on his. I know, but he's standing up on his high horse,
okay,
and then
but
now
Ben,
he's just taking
but
the
what
bag
happened
just like
was
everybody else.
they came out first, the 9/11 families first. Then he,
Oh no, I know. No, yeah, I know. But there's
then he
interviews of
added,
him doing it.
then he added them to it as extra ammunition. So yeah, he did do that, but they came out
He said
separately on their own.
he said he personally, yeah.
I didn't like that
He
either.
said he personally knew two families. Yeah, he said he personally knew two families that they lost people in the 9/11 attacks, and that he would not support that. And he was looking down on everybody that was taking it. And then now he's taking the bag. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, man.
yeah.
Like now,
The
that just
hypocrisy,
really upset me.
the
But I think it's
hypocrisy.
great for the game of golf. I think it's, yep. And I just think it's great for the game of golf, though. You know, I want all the best players playing all the time. I think that's fantastic. You know, hopefully some of these guys can get in the majors, make it a little more interesting again. Some of those guys that didn't qualify yet that are great golfers. So I think it's good for the game of golf, but I don't like the morality on the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't like what they did with that. But like I said, I'm not a fan of Greg Norman and Phil Mickelson, either one of them. I'm not a fan of either
Yep.
one of those
Well,
guys.
yep.
And
And
I
I mean,
don't.
so what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I mean, so all those guys that secured that bag, right? All those guys that went, they're just gonna next year. They're just gonna be back in the same tournaments. So like they all made that 150 million.
Yeah,
Like, you know, Tiger, he turned down I
a
think it's
billion.
almost 800 million
No, he
dollars.
turned down a
And then
billion.
yeah,
It
and
was
then
a
Rory
billion.
was 373. Spieth was 240. Zalatoris was like 150. All those guys, they turned it down. They're doing, you know, they're trying to. I know that they were told, you know, like let's save the tour, and then now the tour is just jumping in bed with it. It's like that. That just bugs
Well,
me,
but this is the
honestly.
deal. The you know McElroy and all those guys you named, they're This is my thing with Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson, all them. You took the money and then you tried to
Yep.
disguise it as something else. No, you took the money because you were not able to
Yeah,
compete
I think they took the
on
money. Yeah.
you were not able to compete on the PGA Tour to win every week in and week out. That's why you did it.
Yep.
And
And then
you can't say I'm
and
playing less
now
golf. Like,
Brooks, I think with him winning,
well, Brooks Koepka goes, oh well, I wanted to play less golf. No, you play more golf now with Liv than you did with PGA. So
with
shut
Bubba.
up. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
You
and I
took
and I
the
also agree
money.
because yeah, and now that he's fixed his game, now he wants to come back and like they're just you know what I mean. Now that he's been winning and stuff, I think that had to do with it that a live guy
Yeah,
won
but the
and
whole
all
my
that
thing with
stuff and
Brooks,
those joints.
he is one of those guys where the PGA championship is his bag. That's his thing. Okay? That
Yeah,
is the tournament
yeah,
that he can win. Because remember he was talking about going up against Tiger? No, you were behind Tiger, not in front of or in
yeah,
the same
100%.
group as Tiger. So yeah, you weren't in the same mess as Tiger was. So yeah, when you won the PGA going against him, yeah, but in the Masters, when you were in front of him, what happened? You choked. So to me, the PGA is something that Koepka competes in every year. He's top 5, top whatever. He's unbelievable in the PGA.
Yeah,
After that, yeah, not so much. But my thing with Brooks is this, and all those guys who left, Pat Perez called you all out and said you went for the money. That's
yep,
why you
and they're
did
all
it.
gonna.
You ain't trying to grow no game of golf. How are you gonna grow the
Yep.
game when it's 4 days? When this is the thing I do 4 days versus 3 days. This is like I said earlier, being one. A the guy who leads on Thursday is usually kind of there on Friday. He gone Saturday. Okay.
Most of the time, yeah,
Most of the
like
time
almost every time.
they're
Yeah, I mean,
gone. Okay.
yeah, we'll go like like 90% of
Yeah,
the
they're
time.
most of
That's
the time they're gone. Okay, because it's a 4 day. You've got to
yep.
compete. Because when Tiger
It's
would
a
win,
battle.
yeah, when
It's a
Tiger would
mental war.
win, he would be. They call Saturday moving day for a reason.
Yeah,
For a reason, because that's when the cream of the crop
everybody
grows.
rotates.
That's when if you're really good, that third day you've got to feel for the course. It's just like in NBA or Major League Baseball or hockey or whatever. Once you get the feel of how the facility's going or how the ice is or whatever, those guys who are really good, they're going to get better because now you got a feel for how the gym looks or how the ice rink looks
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Because you played it now for a couple times, so you're going to get better in games 3, 4, and 5 or whatever. So that's my thing with these live golfers. I'm like, look, I don't want to see some shotgun start. I don't want to see some scramble format. I am not interested in that whatsoever. Now, every now and then, if you want to put team concept together, I'm okay
I
with
think
that.
that's great on the ones that are not. I mean, every once in a while,
Yes,
just
every
throw
once in a
one
while.
in
Yeah,
there.
I have zero.
Have a little perks for the winning team, maybe, you know, and
Yep.
just make the guys kind of get together. I think that's a great idea. But keep the fundamentals. I like the way the game is.
Yep.
There's a reason it's been the same way for a long time,
I agree.
and I think so. Yeah,
Yep.
but I going back to, I just think that guy's kind of a. I think that's morally was kind of just a wrong thing.
I
But I
agree.
think it's great. All the guys will be on the same course again.
I
think that's
agree.
fantastic.
But the whole thing is with those guys that live, Dustin Johnson, them unhappy. I promise you they're not. They
Oh,
don't
no,
want to
that's
go
what I'm
back
saying.
to that.
They got to be upset.
They're not going back
They
to
were
that.
getting privately flown out. They had guaranteed money.
Yeah, they're
Now
not.
they're gonna,
All that's gone. They're still going to get some money, but now you got to go back to earning your deal. You got to go back to earning
yeah.
it. And
I do think it'll be a little bit of change, though, at the same time. I think after this year, because I think everything kicks in at the end of this season.
Right.
So, so I do think they'll probably make a few changes to, we'll see how it goes. But I imagine something will happen, maybe some guaranteed money for everybody kind of thing.
Well, my deal with this is I don't want that. I don't want no guaranteed money. Hey, if you don't earn it, that's your problem. Okay?
I agree.
That's your problem. This the whole thing is you're a professional
I think
golfer.
that's what it'll come down
You go earn your money. If no cut rule, forget all that. No, I don't want to see.
I don't like the no cut rule. I think that's.
I'm
BS.
cutting.
I like that. I don't like the guys having to spend money to pay for their caddy to go out there and stuff. And I feel like some of that stuff should be covered or something by something.
But,
I feel
but
you know
man,
what I mean, because
they still get what is it now? The number 64 guy. What was it like? 100,000 or 80,000 or 27?
Some of those guys at the bottom don't make. It actually costs them money to go out there and go get cut because they have to pay for everything. So I mean that's the only thing that.
Yeah, but Ben, they're still
I think some
okay.
of that
Ben, the thing I think I disagree with that is how the hell you make 20-something thousand. It don't cost you 20 grand to go to a golf tournament.
Let's have the NBA teams pay for their travel.
I know, but what I'm saying is the players pay. I understand the players pay for themselves, but Ben, it don't cost you. If you're the last guy, you get 20 grand.
Well, they have to pay for the caddy.
Yeah, you getting 20 grand. It ain't like you. Come on now. It don't cost you 20 grand to go to a golf tournament.
I got you.
Does it?
I mean, it does if you got a caddy and you got to eat too, and you got to.
It don't cost you 20 grand because you're going after 2 days. You're there for 4 days.
You're flying commercial, and then you got to change your flight.
Or they drive.
Some of that shit.
Or you drive, but it's still not 20 grand for a week.
Let's hope you
talking maybe 10, maybe.
Some people got a swing coach. Some people got all kinds of stuff.
Okay, well, go win and you can pay for that.
But
Ben, it ain't cost you 20 grand.
It
ain't cost. No, the whole thing with a swing coach and all of that stuff, you got to earn to go pay for that.
You're flying domestic, you know what I mean? Which you don't want to do.
I understand that, but it still ain't 20 grand. You change your flight is no more than $300 to $400 to change your flight.
But if you're changing per flight, so that's 6 people. If you got
so that's okay. That's 6 people. That's 3.
But
what I'm trying to say is when you're paying for stuff, I travel all the time. It don't cost you more.
I get what you're saying.
It don't cost you more than $5 grand tops. That's staying at a 5-star hotel. You ain't got those guys don't stay there. They stay at Hampton Inn, which they're paying $100 or probably less than that. Okay, so I don't want to hear all that nonsense. Now, don't go get a swing coach if you can't afford it. Don't get a mental coach if you can't go afford it. Win some tournaments, then go do that. Like Brock, what did he do? He won 1 point whatever million or 2 million, whatever he won in the PGA. Called his boss and said, "Hey, I'm not coming in on Monday." Yeah, now you can go. Now you go do that. But
I'll not be there.
Yeah, but the whole thing is go win.
No, I got you.
So but the problem is I'm very competitive. So when I'm very competitive, I'm just in my competitive mode.
No, I'm with you because the sport of golf. I'm just saying there's a lot of guys that make a ton of money that never win. That's just my point. I feel like they should something's going to get taken care of for them.
I just think that to me,
so they were doing group flight.
To me, it is real simple. Go win. And if you can't make it, hey, then go do something else. I am not trying to pay you. You want to be on the PGA Tour, then you go just like all the other guys before you. What did they do? They went out and got sponsors. And then those sponsors paid for them because they believed in them. And then once you won, you shared your winnings. And if you don't win, then you go over here and be a golf pro somewhere. So I'm not into that. I'm not into that paying stuff. Forget all that crap. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear all that. Go win. And if you can't win, go home. That's how I look at it. Like an NBA or whatever. You didn't make. I got cut. Hey, I didn't make it. Went did something else. It is what it is.
Well, they had to win to get there.
You got to win to get there.
Yeah,
you got to win to get there. So, but I'm with you though. I don't like the way that I mean, Monahan did it. I don't like that. I don't like
Yeah, it's
that the
just the way
thing
he
when
did
he
it.
did that. I don't like the way that Phil Mickelson and uh, the Shark did it. I don't like the way either one of them did what they did. I don't like it. I don't like the
Oh,
way that they portrayed
imagine
it.
Mickelson at the Masters this next year, just like laughing and smiling at everybody. Just
Yeah,
like,
but
hey guys,
but you know
see,
what?
I'll see
Nobody
you every
still.
week from
The whole
now
thing
on, dude.
is that you didn't already.
And he just
They
got
don't like
paid
you.
like
They don't like
so
you now
much.
as it is, and so now
Oh
they're
yeah,
not
he
gonna
doesn't
like
care
you.
though.
But
He
I
doesn't care.
understand. But he does. He does because at the
Yeah.
Masters you could see the way that he was being treated. He didn't like it. I don't care who you
Oh
are,
yeah.
man. He fell a long ways. And the difference is
Oh, I agree.
at some point, it'll be where he is forgiven.
Yeah. Yeah, he
You
made
know,
like
he'll be
$200 million.
forgiven.
He just pretty much
Yeah.
just
So
complained about
now
it all the time.
don't go gambling away now. Okay.
Oh, he'll be out there. Yeah, he'll be out there
Don't
hanging
go
out.
gambling away now. Speaking of gambling, did you see about the NFL players?
Yeah, I saw there was no.
About
I
Isaiah
saw there was a guy
Rodgers.
for the Colts.
Isaiah
Yeah, for the
Rodgers.
Colts. It was over 100 bets, is what I read
Yep.
into it, and there was over 100 bets, and they were all just $25 to $50 bets.
But this is the
They
deal.
weren't even like his highest one. I think was $1,000 bet.
But you know what he
From what I
did?
was
He
reading.
went through his friend's account, thinking he wasn't going to
Well,
get
yeah,
caught.
but he was still doing it in the facility.
Yes. Dumb. Just dumb. Oh, I'm going through my friends. They won't catch me. I don't get these
What an
guys.
idiot!
Yeah, yes, just dumb, man. I mean,
Yeah, I
these
saw
guys
that.
like this. You know, I worked hard to get to the NFL. I worked hard, and then, dude, it says no gambling, but you do it anyway. But you know what? Basketball and football, you brought this in by allowing these companies to come in.
Yep.
So this is going to happen through certain guys. It's just going to happen because they can't help themselves. Now, the first
I
lady.
mean, I mean,
Go
just
ahead.
don't bet on your own sport. He was betting on his own team.
Yes, he was betting on his own team, own sport. Yes.
I didn't see if it was for them to win or lose. I didn't see that. All I
Well,
know
it's
is that he
irrelevant.
bets on his own team.
It's irrelevant. You can't
Yeah,
bet
that's
on
what
your
I'm
own
saying. All I
team.
saw is that is that like
It's
come
irrelevant.
on, man.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing?
Yeah. If he'd have bet on something else, but you bet on his own team, which means
Yeah, if he had bet on horse racing on Sunday or something, like maybe they'll forgive you or like give you slap on the wrist, but that's just a totally different.
yeah, he's gone for a year. He's gone for a
It
year.
better be. I think they should just get. He's a decent player too.
Yep, they're gone. He's gone for a year. But
I
anyway,
know he's a starter.
Yep, and played defense, and he's their special teams returner. But the first lady of the NFL, Norma Hunt, passed away, so she did not get a chance to go to the White House for the Chiefs deal. She was, of course, Lamar Hunt's wife. She went to all 57 Super Bowls, Ben. She went to all 57 of them. Never missed a Super Bowl. She went to every Super Bowl. And
That's awesome.
isn't that awesome?
Good for her.
Yeah, and so anyway, she missed.
That's really cool. That's a cool story, man.
Yeah, and she missed the Chiefs, the party going to the White House, and Joe Biden got the first Chiefs jersey because remember when they won the first one, it was COVID, so there was no visit to the White House.
Yeah.
For that because of COVID, and then the first one they didn't do that back in the day, and what was that in '68? I think when they won the first one or something like that, they did not do it, or 70 or whenever they won the first one. So they didn't do it back then. Jerry Jones says the Cowboys are unlikely to sign DeAndre Hopkins. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw a couple teams that said they were out. I saw Buffalo said they were out. A couple different teams, but I mean, I'd love for him to go to Dallas. I think it'd be great, but I just don't. All these teams are like pretty much full on salary cap at this point. I mean, they're all getting there. At least all the ones that he's going to want to go to.
Well, but the problem is
he's going to have to find a landing spot. He's going to have to find one quick.
Well, the thing is this: he could, like the Browns, he could go there. Okay, because they
he don't want to go there.
Well, what I'm saying is because that's his boy, Deshaun.
Yeah, I know he likes to.
So he could go there. They've got some money for him. The Chiefs has a little bit of money for him, but the problem is he's gone from going to make $30 million.
I thought the Chiefs only had $1 million.
No, they can go back. Remember, they still can go get more money from Mahomes if they want it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if they really want to do it, they can do it because you can throw some incentive in there and do whatever. So if they really want to,
I still feel like he's a guy that wants the ball.
Yeah, but the whole thing with the Chiefs is
he wants to go somewhere and be in the ball.
What the Chiefs is he would fit in with them simply because he's had 4 drops in 3 years. That's just crazy to me, Ben.
I
4
was
drops in 3
reading some.
years.
I think he has like a 5. He wears he wears custom gloves. They're either like a 5 or a 6XL. Like they don't sell them any. Like his hands are
So
like
big.
literally massive.
Yeah, and so he don't drop stuff.
Yeah,
So,
like I like yeah.
and that's the thing with
No,
me.
like
The
that.
Chiefs are missing
Glue.
is something like that. So I think that the bottom line, the Chiefs are just kind of waiting everything out and going, hey, listen, this is what we can give you. But this is the thing. He wants, what's his name's money? What's our boy's name that signed with the Browns, $15 million? What's his name? That was been out. Odell Beckham.
Was it OBJ?
With the
Not
Ravens.
OBJ.
With the Ravens, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants that kind because he got $15 million guaranteed. Hadn't played in a year and a half, and he got 15 guaranteed with a max 18. So that's what he's looking at minimum to him, because he's better than OBJ. He's been around. I'm like, yeah, okay, but you did have the substance thing that you got pinned for last year, so you did miss some games. But at the same time,
and I know they cut him before
they had to
before
pay
his guaranteed money kicked in.
Yeah, right. They cut him before that, which means
No, they cut him before the guarantee. They had 20. Yeah, they had 21 million in dead cap, but I don't think he gets that money. It's
No, he doesn't.
like he's out. He's a free agent, like certified.
Well, they owed him. They would have owed him. I think it's 29 or 30 million.
They did it before the deadline.
Right, and so it's 22 million against the cap. So they saved themselves $9 million that they can go out and sign someone. That's basically what they did. So I mean, and I think they were done.
I don't know.
How many players can you get for $9 million? You can get. They need a lot of holes to be filled there. So I can understand that 100%.
I mean, if you do it incentive based, if you do it incentive based on a couple of these guys, and they I know their owner has a decent chunk of change. So I mean, like if you do them incentive based and like do them like light on the salary, but make them like light incentive based, like pretty much almost guarantees. I think some of those guys would sign. Like if you did like. Just for instance, if they were to, DeAndre Hopkins to, get like 500 yards, you know what I mean? So you just do them like light incentive based, where like they make their money, but if they're on the field,
but
pretty much
being
like
on top
they're
of that,
going to
though,
get that, you know what I mean, or something like that.
Chiefs
You get a guy, make sure he gets 30 tackles.
Well, the thing is with the Chiefs, they don't want to do an incentive because then he's going to be bugging Patrick Mahomes about throwing the ball to him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's not.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I'm just
That's the problem
with
with incentive
teams,
base.
though, I feel like that's the way to just to dip around it.
Yeah, and Mahomes is like, look, I want to throw to everybody, 10 people a game, whatever, something insane like that. Now the Bills are broke ground on their $1.5 billion new facility, $1.5 billion facility.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's right across the street from where they're at now.
Yeah, well,
that's basically where they're at.
That's the same thing that the Texas Rangers did.
Yeah, basically across the street.
The Texas Rangers, their old stadium. Yeah, their old stadium's literally across the street.
Across the street.
Whenever I went down there, I was like, I've been here before.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's the other stadium.
It's the other stadium. So they're building it just across the street to do that. So I thought that was kind of funny. And the taxpayers are paying $850 million of it.
I think that's one of those cities that they do not care.
No, they don't. They don't. What else is there to do in Buffalo? They have the Sabres, don't they?
Huh?
Don't they have the hockey? The Sabres, Buffalo Sabres?
They got the Sabres. They got the Sabres, and that's it.
So that's all they got, right?
You got Niagara Falls, pretty close. That's about. I mean, that's not like still pretty far, but I mean, you still got some ways on that. But that's about it. There's really nothing going on. There's cool bars.
So in other words, you don't have anything.
You can get beat up down. You can get beat up over there. Wear the wrong colors somewhere.
You're wrong, dude. You are so wrong. See, that's how you are. See how you do stuff, man. You just be. See, never mind. I'll be nice to you, man, because I know it's tough on you. I'm gonna be nice. Now in NHL, Thursday night, we had last night they got smashed last night. Well, here, let me put up the score since I don't have the score. That's the G9 spanked the Panthers last night. Is that what we want to call it?
Yeah.
0.9. What do you call that 7-2 shellacking? What do you call that?
I mean, that was just an absolute beatdown from start to finish, my friend. I mean, that was just a good old fashioned spanking. I mean, that was just. I mean, the G9 they just from start to finish absolutely dominated them. I mean, the Panthers. I mean, did you get to
goals in 9 games or something stupid? The one that scored the very first goal
talking
for
about
the
Marcia show.
Yeah, the one that scored the first goal for the G9s.
Marcia show.
Yeah.
So they got that. Yeah, they got that penalty against him. Then he went out there and scored the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had 2 goals last night actually. And then this actually goes back to the whenever the Knights came into the league. You know how they do the expansion draft.
That's what they got.
Okay, so Marsha Show was the Knights pick from the Panthers. Yeah, so they picked him from the Panthers 4 years ago. So now he's over there. So he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, obviously.
Yeah,
And
because
then because he's the guy that they decided they didn't want anymore.
They had to go. Hey, they have to free him up to be drafted, right? He wasn't protected by them.
Yeah, they said, like we like you, but like, but like we really don't like you that much compared to the other 12 guys.
Wow.
So like we're just gonna put you up, and then now he's got 12 goals in the playoffs. He's second in the playoffs right now in goals, still behind Leon Draisaitl, which he hasn't played now for a while, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
But so now he's second in the playoffs in goals, and he's going. And I mean, Kachuk, I don't know if you saw him. He had 2 10-minute penalties last night.
Yeah.
But he was he's the guy with the mouthpiece hanging out, and he's fighting everybody, trying to do everything. And the Knights, man, but I mean, that's his job. He's a pest, and he goes out there and he scores. But I mean, he did a little too much last night. And the Knights, they're clearly just being conservative. They're laughing in the faces of all these guys as they're washing their face and doing all this stupid stuff, and they're going out there and they're scoring on the power play. They're one of the worst power plays this regular season, and here in the playoffs they've turned it on, especially here in this series against the Panthers. Yeah. So they've looked great. And then Aiden Hill, that goalie, and that big tall guy, he's not getting shaken by any of their tactics. They're doing everything. So I mean, the Knights, honestly, they're on a roll. I think they got this pretty much locked in. But we'll talk a little bit more about it and see who's healthy.
What are your thoughts about Thursday?
Nobody really you're not really dominating a series until you win on the opponent's ice, right?
Right.
So, or the opponent's court, as you
all
guys
you've done is hold serve. 2-0. All you've done is hold serve.
So as long as you if everybody keeps winning at home, you haven't really done anything. So they're going to the Panthers. They're going to throw the rats on the ice. That's their big thing. It's gonna.
They throw real rats.
Be all over the place.
Real rats.
So they have all these rubber rats.
Okay, I was like, you ain't throwing no real rats on the deal, are you, man? What in the hell?
The Detroit Red Wings do the octopus, and then Nashville Predators, they do the catfish, but those are real. But these aren't gonna be real rats. They do the rubber rats. If you look at back, I think it was '94. One of their first years in the league, they had a big deal where they threw about 1,000 rats on the ice all at once, and they had to clean them all up, and they were just called the rats. So I mean, if the Knights go and steal one, I'm gonna bet the over again. I have the last 2 nights or the last 2 games on that, which have hit. I'm gonna bet the over again. I think there's gonna be a lot of goals, but until the Knights win one there, the series really hasn't started. So.
Yeah, well, speaking of betting, I'm glad you made that so I can make this transition. Drew, what was he, 3-0 last night? 3-0 yesterday in his bets on baseball?
Yeah, I saw he was 3-0 in MLB. I didn't see what he was in the college. But I know he was 3-0 in MLB.
Well, in MLB, he's got the Pirates.
He's hot again.
Yeah, he's got Pirates minus 242. Of course, his beloved Braves, money line 163. The Raves on the money line of 172.
I'll do a formal chop.
Yeah, don't, man. Why do you? Look, he ain't here. I ain't got to hear all that, man. He ain't here. But Ben, I ain't got to. I don't have to hear that, man. He ain't here. This is my break. This is my vacation. No, this is my vacation away from that. I'm not doing that chop crap. I'm on my vacation.
So do it for him.
Oh my God! But see, I didn't have to hear when my Dodgers spanked that butt. I didn't have to hear his mouth. He's got the Mariners and the Padres under 7.5, 105. He's got the Cardinals and the Rangers. Oh, he's taking the over. Okay. Over 9.5, 105 for that.
I like that. I like some runs.
Yeah. Dodgers.
Dodgers
against the Reds over 10. So that's going to be interesting for that. I mean, that's a lot.
Ones,
yeah, that's a lot for minus 110. And then the Stros at the Blue Jays in Toronto. He's doing over 8. I don't know about that. Well, the Stros do score a lot of runs, so I guess I can kind of see that. So do the Jays. They must not be throwing their aces tonight. And then the D-backs and the Nationals are going at it. He's doing the under on that, 9.5. 9.5, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? 9.5?
Yeah, under 9.5, I like that. Some good pitching going on.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, 9.5 runs, so that's going to be interesting to see how that is. So we're going to be good. Are you working tomorrow?
Yep, and I saw Aaron Judge. Go ahead.
Are you working tomorrow? Are you working tomorrow
Yeah, I'll
night?
be there tomorrow.
Yeah, because I'm saying, man, we got so much going on. You got softball
tomorrow.
tomorrow and NBA tomorrow.
Yep, I'm gonna be watching the softball.
Yeah.
I always love when the college softball goes on, man. Those girls freaking kick butt. They're great. They're great to watch. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Crowd gets into it.
Did
It's
you watch
it's
it
a good
last
time.
night or Monday?
I really do like watching it. I haven't watched as much as the baseball. Do what?
Yeah, last night, dude, when OU came back and won yesterday, dude, that's why I was late coming on the
Yeah.
show yesterday, because I was watching the softball game yesterday, and that's why I was late. But
Yeah, I was watching that.
that's
I
what
was at J.C. Penney's taking awkward photos.
Yeah, well, see, because I got to do the show tomorrow, Ben, the Thunder show. But the problem is when I do it, it's the same time that softball and NBA is on both. That's the problem.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Just do it right after this one.
Well, you
Or
mean?
just do it right after you get out of the gym.
Well, yeah, I get out of
Just
the
beat
gym,
them
but the
both.
problem is I
And
get
then
out of the gym.
you're done.
I get out of the gym at 6. And the basketball game's
Yeah, you
at
can knock
7,
it
and,
out in like
and
45 minutes.
the softball's at softball's at.
Oh, you'd have to drive.
Yeah, no, softball's at 7, and
Yeah,
the
you have
NBA is at 7:30, and I got to drive from the gym, so I'd have to go to catch. So by the time I got there, and so the game, I mean, it'd be and then by the time everything's over, it's 10 o'clock. So I'm struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm struggling what I want to do, but I'm like, I definitely want to watch the game, which means I want to go to that I want to be at either Cats or Rococo's tomorrow night to do it.
You can technically do it tonight. You could do it. You could pre-record it, do it tonight.
Yeah, well, we're getting ready to do our podcast. We're getting ready to change the After the Storm to a podcast.
Okay,
So I'm in the process of putting all that together. And we're not quite there yet. So I think probably about either the middle of this month or the end of next month, the After the Storm will be a podcast on probably Spotify or something like that. So I'm working on doing that. So when I do that time,
perfect.
And then just go ahead and
do
it.
it.
So
Then
it won't
you can
be
just
live.
post it on there. You could post it on there.
Then it'd be posted. Just said, hey, look, you can go to the podcast.
And then there was.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
there was a question I had.
Yeah.
I did want to ask. Did you ever go play? Did you ever go play like out in the mountains or anything like basketball? Did you ever go to like Denver? Anything like that and play or anything like that?
When we played at Colorado.
Okay, so like I did want to ask. Okay, so I did want to ask. So where they're playing in Miami, right?
Uh-huh.
They're at, they're literally at like 0 level or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
less than 0
because
like Miami's
1
flooding.
foot sea level.
Yeah, it's like Miami's about to be
it's
underwater.
something like that. Okay. Then clearly Denver is like, it's mile high.
It's a difference.
City. So like, but does that affect the basketball? Because like in hockey, it only affected our lungs. It didn't affect the puck that I could see or tell. Like I played plenty of tournaments up there. I went to plenty of scouting deals up there. Did everything. It was great. And I almost actually joined a team there. Whenever I went to Texas, that was the team that I was going to play for the Pikes Peak Miners up there. So I was going to play up there and move up there, but I never saw anything besides my lungs. But I didn't know if that affected anything with the basketball. Because I know it does football, but obviously that's going very far. I
don't know in basketball because you're inside, and it's a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So I don't, I still own the record for the most minutes ever played in a game, 58 of 60 minutes. I played 58 minutes of 60. In Colorado. Yeah, and had 30 points, and we won the game in 4 overtimes or 5 overtimes or whatever it was. I think it was 4 overtimes.
Jeez.
And the night before, I had a date with Miss Colorado, and needless to say, I was late for curfew.
Had a kid.
But of course.
Had a kid.
Yeah, and anyway, so then the next night I was supposed to meet her at, after the game. And Ben, I went home. That tells you how the altitude was. Nope. I went home. So I don't know if it affected because we were inside. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I had 30, so clearly it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because I heard people making excuses the first night for Miami, saying that that was kind of like the reasoning why they thought they were missing